Hello, YouTube. This is Cynthia with Healing Holden. Well, it looks like we got the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and I can't say that definitively as because it didn't follow Coates' postulates in the first place, so nobody really knows what this is. But according to the powers that make this stuff, I got this COVID-19 test from Walmart. It's not FDA approved, but then again, neither is anything that's coming out. Not the vaccines, not the tests, not anything. So based on what's available, that's apparently what we got. So, and actually, we ended up getting, I should have known, because guys, I'm not, I don't do vaccines and I don't wear a mask, but I'm not trying to laugh in the face of any, logical things that you do to take care of yourself when you're sick or to keep yourself from getting sick. So I kind of go again by the Bible, and by decades of knowledge. I will quarantine if I'm sick with anything. If I've got a cold or if I've got a flu or anything like that, I won't go anywhere. I'll kind of stay put if I can, and not get everybody else contaminated. And I'll try and just get well as soon as possible. So that's like always been something I do. And I try and stay away from sick people. But we had, and I should have thought about this when it happened, but we had a little boy in our apartment complex that Holden likes to play with. His babysitter wanted us to go to the pool with them, so we did. And she was telling me that he's really tired because he was sitting out instead of being in the pool a lot. And she thought maybe it was from his ADHD medication that they had just started and that he had thrown up in the morning. Which ADHD medication can cause you stomach upset and extreme exhaustion. I remember when they tried to put me on Ritalin when I was a kid, and my parents took me off of it because they were like, "No, this is making her into a zombie." So I kind of know that. But then the babysitter also said that one of the parents had told her that they gave the medication after he had thrown up that morning. So I should have taken that as a thought that, hey, if he threw up beforehand, yeah, maybe we shouldn't play right now. But I didn't, just because my brain was on the track of the ADHD medication and thinking it was that. So anyway, so he came over and he went to Holden's bed. We had a couple of other kids, his sister and then another little boy here, and he just decided to go to sleep in Holden's room. So I thought, oh man, that medication's really bothering him. Well, then he wakes up and he's got like 100-degree temperature that I take, and that then he goes home, and I made some lunch that day, and he didn't want to eat it, and other kids were eating. Anyway, so long story short, he ended up having, going to the doctor and being diagnosed with SARS-CoV-2. Interesting thing was his dad had just been vaccinated, and there's been stories whirling around that the vaccinated can spread the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which, these different variants that are going on. I know from our experience that you can't patent a virus, but you have to patent. You can't patent a wild virus, but you have to patent your vaccinations. So in order to make these vaccinations, they attenuate or change it by splicing them together with other things. So I think that's where we get a lot of these variants, the H1N1, all those different kinds of things, rather than it being, the original wild strain. So anyway, long story short, we got sick, and then I started taking my elderberry right away and giving Holden that, and then taking zinc and probiotics and all the things that we typically do. But then And I started feeling better, and Holden got better, and then Holden went to his dad's. And then I got real stressed out at one point. I hurt my friend's feelings, and I hate that. And I just, I'm one of those who'll think about it and like, especially if I know I was wrong and that I hurt someone, and that, will keep me up at night. So I think maybe the stress brought it back. I don't know. I mean, I've been researching a lot about it and the long Rona, long COVID and stuff like that. What they've been saying is that you're not reinfected when people are like testing positive again. You haven't cleared it completely from your body. And that happens a lot to me. Like if I have a fever and then I get better and then I burn the midnight oil and I get my fever back again because I haven't gotten rid of whatever's the problem. I've only kind of subdued it a little bit so that my body isn't, raising the red flags that I need to do something, like lie down and shut up. So in this one was a doozy. I think I haven't been this sick in about 10 years. And it seems like every 10 years I've gotten this sick. One of them was the flu. So I was my body just wanted to sleep. So I let it. So the first couple of days was kind of rough because it was a lot of body aches and stuff. And I first thought it was a bacterial infection because I can usually tell a virus is like makes my nose drip, and this made me stuffy and smelled like bacteria. It's weird, seemed like a lot of different things together. So I was just taking garlic the second time around and not taking elderberry. Now, garlic is an antimicrobial, but it's really good for bacteria. And elderberry, which is this black elderberry syrup. I like this Gaia one just because I think it tastes good and I'll take it. And it's organic and all that. But this is an antiviral. So I wasn't taking that like the first couple of days. I got hit real hard. I took the garlic. I took a bunch of zinc, but it was only like 200 milligrams of zinc picolinate. So this is a 50 milligram bottle, and I took about 2 in the morning and 2 at night. 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. I took about 4,000. So like 2 of these in the morning, 2 of them at night. Thankfully, I already had some gluten-free D because I have some vitamin D deficiencies like most people do. So I was taking those, but I hadn't taken the black elderberry yet, and I hadn't taken the NAC. So this is really helpful for the coronavirus. Zinc too. I took this like herbal mixture. It's like a homeopathic X-Clear for my stuffy nose, and it has things like, let's see. It's grape seed extract, tea tree, eucalyptus, parsley, palo d'arco, grapefruit seed extract. Oregano, which oregano is a really great antimicrobial as well. And then sodium bicarbonate. Yeah. Anyway, sodium bicarbonate, even if you do like a nasal rinse with baking soda and salt, that'll clean a lot out. I also did one thing, like Holden's throat was hurting and so was mine. So I already make a mouthwash with hydrogen peroxide. So I was gargling with that, and Holden was gargling with that, and that seemed to really help. But I didn't, 2 days into it, I didn't really feel better until I got like this. A friend of mine, thank you, Edgar, if you're watching, because if I ordered it, I was going to have to wait an extra day. I asked a friend of mine to go ahead and get it for me if he could. He happened to check in on me, and I told him what was going on. He's like, I can get something for you if you want. So I was like, yes, please. So once I started taking that, I started feeling a lot better. But really the magical components, because I was doing a little research on this, and let me show you just so you know, yes, okay, I got this test. And this is, I guess, this is how you know it's a positive result. There you go, right there. You got double lines, or even like the bottom line is clear. And so this is my little nasal swab. So you can see like a pregnancy test. I'm positive. Not for pregnancy. So I didn't really start kicking it until I started taking more zinc and then more NAC. The NAC, it's a great detox agent. So all the body aches and stuff started really going away with this stuff. So I took about probably, let's see, this is 600 milligrams. I took about three times that much per day, sometimes 6 times that much, if I was feeling like my muscles were achy and stuff. But when I was doing some research on it, somebody said that you need to take 225 milligrams of zinc per day in order to help with COVID. And so really, I only had 25 milligrams to bump up. So I went ahead and tried it, and that seemed like the magic number. I don't know how, but I mean, I was just kind of much better, even though I still had a fever. And like right now I still have a fever, but I have 100, and it was like at 101 point something, like almost 102. So this is kind of what I did. And I just keep sleeping. If I need it, I sleep. If I want to eat, I eat. If I don't, I mean, you just listen to your body and do what it says to do. So, I'm actually a little nauseous from the zinc. It will do that, which is just like any supplementation. Vitamins will do that too, even if you eat. But it seems to be really knocking things out. So one of the things I noticed that I think you should consider, this NAC stuff has been around forever, and it's safe. And they use it in hospitals for when you have Tylenol poisoning. It's also an mucolytic, so like it breaks up mucus. And they use it for cystic fibrosis patients. So this is like critical for Holden's, tics, and it's a precursor to glutathione, which is part of your immune system hormones. So one of the things that I noticed, and I don't know if any of y'all noticed this, but Amazon took over Whole Foods, and all of a sudden, all the homeopathic remedies started disappearing. A lot of things are disappearing from there, but one of the things that's also disappeared is this NAC, and it's disappearing from the vitamin shop, and it's also disappearing from Amazon. So if you try to order it on Amazon, you can't. It always happens. So obnoxious. Anyway, I just cursed this way. Anyway, so I gotta wonder, you guys, because when I tried to get something to a medication for Holden's measles infection, active measles infection from the vaccine, when I tried to get a medication for it, there was no medication allowed in this country. They had it in Canada, and I would have to smuggle it across the border. They're doing the same thing with therapeutics here, like hydroxychloroquine, and ivermectin. They're blocking medication. So I'm like, first of all, it doesn't make any sense. If you are basically at death's door and there's supposedly this right to try things, why are you blocking a medication that people might want to use, and that doctors should be allowed to prescribe these things? So the only thing I can think of is, it's for control of what you get to take and pushing people to take the vaccine instead of therapeutics, because there are agents out there, both herbal kind that you can grow, and the kind that you can get from the vitamin stores that can help you. But if they block the knowledge of those things, still having cough. If they block the knowledge of those things and they block you being able to get them in favor of these vaccinations, that's your only option, right? Anyway, so I wanted to tell you a couple of other things. Oh yeah, for the blood clot issues, and I'm going to get some more as soon as I can. There's something called natto, which is natto kinase is the actual enzyme. Natto is a fermented soybean product that they eat a lot in Japan, and they're prescribing that when you have blood clots. So a friend of mine, if you're watching, hi, how are you, Glenn? He and his wife is from Japan, so he and his wife eat natto all the time. I'm like, I didn't know you could get it here. Like I'd never thought about, going to a Japanese restaurant or going to, because I'd never seen it. I've been to Japanese restaurants and I just never paid attention. So there's a store here in Houston called Daiso, and they had some organic natto. The only things that weren't organic in it were like the seasoning packages, so I just didn't eat that. So I took some of that just to kind of make sure, just in case there were any blood clotting issues, because apparently the spike protein will cause the clotting. And then I also got some tonic water. Whole Foods has some without like aspartame and all the nasty stuff, because that has quinine in it, and it's supposed to help like the same activity that ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine has. Quercetin is one thing that I haven't gotten yet, and I'm probably going to get that. But that can be found in onions. I have like 3 onions here. Thanks, Joseph. I've got all these friends who just hook me up. So why don't I be what I do next? Because I've been in the mood to make some onion rings. So, so anyway, just wanted to let you guys know, give you guys an update on us, and then also let you know about this, if it can help you. It certainly was very helpful to me, and I was looking to feel better, and I did, and hopefully I can kind of knock this out. And yeah, I'm looking to get on board with a different company soon, and more than likely they're going to want to require vaccines, and I'm going to ask them. Well, first I'm going to. After this is over, because it takes like 3 or 4 weeks to have like a positive, after being ill, to have a positive titer or antibodies test. But I'm probably either going to order online or go to CVS or Kroger or wherever they're doing antibody tests and get an antibody test that can prove, look, I have immunity. I've been sick before. And I love how the WHO is changing like the definition of what we've known for centuries about biology, where if you get sick with something, your body has learned it, and then it knows how to fight it, and you don't get sick with that thing anymore. The WHO is suddenly saying, no, that's only possible with vaccines, when forever the whole premise of vaccines was supposed to be based on how you get natural immunity. So a lot of horse caca going on. And even herd immunity, they changed the definition of that to say that you can't get herd immunity from anything but vaccines, which before it was also, vaccines are going to give you the herd immunity that was previously done in when you get the natural infection. So, like, they're so full of it. They're so full of it. And I'm sorry, but it's just impossible. When you've been lied to over and over again by the same people, you're just like, look, I'm not going to believe anything you say. I'm sorry. I'm going by history, what I've experienced, and what God says, because his word doesn't change, and these WHO and CDC people flip-flop all the time, and just like science does, right? Science is like the new God. But years ago, they said eggs were bad. No, eggs aren't bad anymore. And it's all in context. And so, like the vitamins and stuff, there's a lot of studies that say these things don't work. But like I experienced with the zinc, I just needed 25 more milligrams of the zinc to kind of push me over the edge. So dosage is very important. The same applies to drugs. Dosage is important. If you don't have enough of what you need, then it's not going to push you past that threshold. Your body's still going to be deficient. So these studies that they do are typically paid for by the pharmaceutical companies. You know, the way they get it out to people, nobody's looking out for you. When they, especially on the news and whatever vehicle they give it to you, and even with doctors, I mean, they don't know nutrition. They only know drugs and cutting. So they're not going to know that kind of stuff. So anyway, just know that the dosage is important. Know that things like vitamin C, you're not going to get toxic in. Once you get better, when you're actually out of the woods, no fever, you feel great, blah, 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 then you can discontinue this kind of stuff. I mean, vitamin C is going to always be good, but you don't need to take this much. But vitamin C will pee out, or, you know, if you get the side effect of vitamin C, if you have too much, is diarrhea. So once you get that, you know, you're taking too much, stave off, back off a little, take less, whatever. But vitamin C is always going to help you with all kinds of body processes, and we know that, especially the immune system. With respect to NAC and zinc can become toxic, and it can antagonize copper. So don't take it forever. But with this particular virus, it's supposed to eat up your zinc reserves, just like the measles eats up your vitamin A reserves. So when they were treating the measles way back when they believed in vitamins, they would treat with vitamin A. For some reason, they don't do that anymore because they want you to buy all these vaccines that are kind of trading one disease for a short-lived disease for a chronic one. So, you know, you don't want to take all these forever. Plus, these things are expensive. Like this black elderberry, you don't need to take that all the time. Just take it when you've got a virus. First sign of the virus. Vitamin D, oh yeah, I'm taking my normal dosage of this is like 5 drops a day. You need 30,000 IU per day, which is 30 drops of this. So again, you're going from a maintenance dose or a dose when you're a little bit deficient to when you're sick, you've got a therapeutic dose. So you're talking about a lot of stuff. Just like your normal sleep is going to be 8 hours, but when you're sick with something, you're probably going to sleep all day. You know? That's a lot, but you need it because you're sick. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Yep, that's all I got. So anyway, love you guys. I'm feeling much better. Holden seems to be just fine. And hopefully I'll be out of the woods pretty soon. I'm going to go back to bed. So that's helped a lot. I'm also hungry. Anyway, love you much. And I'll see ya later. Oh, I always forget about this.